Good evening, everyone. Welcome being here. If you are not muted yet, please mute yourself. It helps with the audio. All right. I spoke to some of you already, and it was wonderful to learn that you are from everywhere over the United States. Welcome to this class tonight. It is catalyst means that a catalyst is a driver. And so this is about helping you to become the driver in your life to get you out of a place where you are stuck and can't move forward to the place where you want to be, and that is to be unstoppable. The approach that I'm taking tonight is one that is slightly different. Most approaches are about cognitive, helping you to change your mindset and to change your motivational approach and all of that. That's not this tonight. This is something that is evolutionary by addressing the problem from the place where it is stuck. There's a problem and it is stuck within you. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So my mission for you today is to help you understand that it's not only in your head, it's in your head. And as I'm going dark, okay, I will recover soon, I hope. Um, it is not that that it's only in your head, but it is also in your body. It's in your nervous system. And so what my approach is tonight is that I'm going to give you an hint, an oversight into the problem being stuck, why it is a problem, why you need to fix it. I give you some data, data points. I give you 3 techniques, and I will also talk about 3 roadblocks. And the one thing that I want you to know, and that is what I stress every time I do any of my presentations, and that is that everything you seek is already within you. And it is seeking you as much as you are seeking it. You have already, to some extent, that which you seek. But by being in a state of stuck survival mode, you can't access that which you seek. That's what I hope for you to get out of this. And I have to remind myself that I want to just bring it to attention that I have something, and I will give that to you in a little moment. A couple of bonuses, actually more than a couple, a few very, very helpful tools that will assist you to work on it at home and to get you out of that stuckness, to loosen the grip and help you to move forward. To give you a quick introduction as to who I am, I have been working with people as a life coach for more than a decade. I have a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy, master practitioner of NLP, positive psychology, timeline therapy, and I'm now getting my degree in neurosomatic dynamics. I work with people the ages of 9 all the way up there. My 9-year-old was stuck in his nervous system because he was an athlete. He's still an athlete. And when he played baseball, he got so nervous that he couldn't hit the ball. And I helped him, and there's the one quote that I helped him to focus on, which was, the calmer you stay, the better you play. And that became his tool. These are, by the way, 2 books that I've written. They are on Amazon. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Here's what I want to start with, and that is, many of you know this feeling. I certainly do, so I speak from experience. that you feel frozen as you get to your desk and you know you have something to do. You know you have to get it done in order to go where you want to do. Now, the word have to is something that doesn't bring up feelings of something going towards. It's the away feeling. I have to do that. And by only the choice of words, you're creating an emotion and an energy within yourself that pushes you towards the opposite of where you want to go. So you are creating a state of fear. This is not about being lazy, but it is about your body reading that you are dreading and fearing and disliking this. So it's going, alarm, alarm. And your nervous system is going into protective mode. Here's the one thing that we as human beings must be, and that is we must feel safe. It is essential for us that we feel safe. Only when we feel safe can we think logically, can we move forward. But if you're stuck in survival mode, you can't get yourself out of it. There are ways to do that, and I will show you how. I learned, by the way, just recently that there was a research done on women who cannot become pregnant, and this article states, this research, that it is because when the woman doesn't feel safe, that energy goes into her womb and the womb does not feel safe. That's why she may not be able to conceive or hold the fetus. Interesting, I find. So safety is essential for us. When you don't, your body goes no, block, and stop. When your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, it sees everything as a threat because it must protect you. The body stays tense. I'm sure you've experienced that many times. You feel it in your chest. Your brain, your mind is looping over and over the same thing over and over. You feel disconnected. And every time through willpower or force, you find that you fail time and time again. And the more you fail, the more discouraged you become. And the greater the gap from where you are to where you want to be, from who you are to who you want to become, becomes bigger and bigger and insurmountable. But it doesn't have to be that way. The devastating part is that you know there is so much potential in you, but it's like your Fort Knox is behind behind a bulletproof glass. It's secluded and you can't get to it. You may be able to see it, but you can't get to it. The problem is that both your nervous system and your unconscious mind, as well as the limbic system, they are not logical. They are purposeful, and their purpose from birth on is to protect you and to keep you safe. Therefore, logic cannot help you to get through this. I'll get into that in a moment, into greater detail. Why is it a problem? Well, logically, you're putting all your energy into the problem. You're feeding the problem. Your nervous system burns energy only to therefore feel exhausted. And because of that, you also start pulling away. So your comfort zone is becoming smaller and you're retreating and going backwards. And so your comfort zone, which is not comfortable at all, becomes smaller. You start comparing yourself, which makes matters worse. You see others moving ahead while you're standing still or on that endless treadmill. And you feel certainly disconnected from your body because you are dissociating out of the problem. What's at stake if you don't solve it is that your nervous system will be in control of you. It is bidirectional. Its physiology influences psychology as psychology influences and affects your physiology. So it's bidirectional. So if you are dreading something, you're sending signals to your nervous system and it appears instantly. I did that a few weeks ago when I realized that the thing that I was preparing was associated to, at one point in the past, made me nervous. And it brought up the association. But the minute I realized that, I went, no, we're not doing that today. And it stopped it right away. So the nervous system will keep you small. Your health will deteriorate. I will show you in what ways. Clearly, the windows of opportunities will pass you by because you are stuck and frozen. You can't move on. And you're moving this pattern on to the people around you, your partners, your children, the people you work with. But even more so, it's your energy is going out into your environment because energy flows, and there is no fence, no border for energy. It goes into the environment and it comes back at you. So yes, you pass it on and it comes right back at you. The 3 data points are, because this is not something that I just made up, the trauma exposure. So here is what the World Health Organization has found, that 70% of people experience potentially traumatic events in their lifetime, but only 5.6% develop PTSD. And this follows the same thing as stress. It is not the stress or the stressor, but it is your reaction to it. You are the catalyst to either make it a horrific event. And I'm not saying that people who suffer from PTSD did not experience a horrific event. But when two people experience the same and one comes out not feeling it while the other one does, that is because it is the way we respond and react to the event. The stress epidemic. Well, I think we are all in a new stress epidemic right now, just saying. And I do not doubt that it's 75% of adults report physical, emotional symptoms of stress. I think it is probably much higher than that, but 75 sounds good to me. And only once weekly, I don't know about that one either, but the statistics speak for themselves that stress is going through the roof. Again, you control your stress. I'll show you how you can lower that number and not be triggered by it. The physical impact of chronic stress. Occasional stress helps us because it gets our body moving, our stressors, our physical response to the thing gets it up and moving, and we're doing the things that help us to get through this situation. Chronic stress is different. When we're in chronic stress, it affects every aspect of our being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So yes, there is no question about that. I have broken the problem into 3 parts: dysregulation, fragmentation, and dormancy. Let's start with dysregulation. And I will go into the nervous system in a little bit more detail to help you understand that. So when your nervous system is chronically dysregulated, you're stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And what happens is that when we are in stuck in fear, in this problem, we are usually attached, associated with the past. we're bringing that data up, and it affects our reaction and response today. We are linking the danger from the past into what is happening today, and we're projecting anxiety that into the future. The signs of dysregulation, I'm sure we have all felt it, I know for sure I have, is that there is that chronic tension in your chest, in your shoulders, in your jaws, in the system. There is shallow breathing or holding your breath. What happens with that is you're not bringing enough oxygen into the system. You're wired but exhausted because you're putting all your energy into the fight or flight, into the problem. You can't relax. That's a big one. I've worked with a client who had traumatic experiences in her youth, in her childhood, and she was always on super hyper vigilant, hyper alert, and could never allow herself to calm down because she felt she was more vulnerable, when the opposite is true. We calm that down. The dysregulation activates your sympathetic nervous system, which, if you're in this constant fight or flight, you're creating a chronic stress state that disrupts the body's balance, the flow of energy. It increases your stress hormones, which lead to emotional symptoms and physical ones: headaches, migraines, fatigue, anxiety, depression, heart issues, lung, diabetes, even cancer, stomach ulcers, IBS, and. So the sympathetic system is the one that responds or reacts when you are in a situation of danger and threat, real or imagined. It cannot differentiate between the two. So what happens is you are bringing up your adrenaline and your cortisol. You go into reactive, defensive. You focus on on the threats, hypervigilance, and it drains your energy, because what's happening is you're pulling all your hormones, your chemicals, your oxygen, your blood, and it is going into either the flight or fight, or the freeze or fawn. So what does that mean? It's like you're sending your army out there, which depletes your inner resources here. That's why you feel so drained, so blasé. The parasympathetic system, on the other hand, is the one that is in charge of feeling calm, connected, and creative. It's connected to the prefrontal cortex, which cannot operate when you are in a fight, or when the sympathetic is in overdrive. Because what does the sympathetic do? It's life and death, it believes. So it's not about thinking your way through it, but it's reacting. That's why the prefrontal cortex underdevelops if you're chronically stressed and in the sympathetic overdrive. Now, the freeze and fawn is connected with the vagus nerve and the dorsal vagal pathways. I'll get to that in a moment. So, this one is restorative. It helps you grow and calm you down. Again, if either one is in overdrive, that's not a good thing. We're looking for balance. The vagus nerve is key to healing your dysregulated nervous system. It regulates your breathing, heart rate, and digestion. It's a cranial nerve belonging to the parasympathetic system. It means that it plays a major role in calming the nervous system, but it also plays a major role in putting you into the freeze and fawn state, which is the overactivity of that, because based on overwhelm. These are the areas of the brain. Your amygdala is in part of here, the limbic system, and here's the reptilian system, the complex. The reptilian is the first one that develops as an infant. Then comes the limbic, and they are there to help the baby to survive. That's their job. So they continue doing their job, and yes, we need them very much. The key here is everything needs to be in balance. Again, when this is overactive, it shuts your prefrontal cortex down. You can't think. That's when children experiencing living in abusive homes, you find that very often they have learning disabilities because they're always here, not here, right? So this is what it looks like when you are imbalanced, when you're in the fight or flight, in the sympathetic overdrive. It is exactly like the seesaw. When this is up, the parasympathetic must be down. It cannot be otherwise. So the more you put your energy into the sympathetic, the more you're draining the calming, relaxing. That's why you also can't relax and calm the system down. I'll show you how you can do that. Furthermore, here's what happens on the other level. There's the cycle, the continuous loop. Now, let's say you have a project and you have to do it. Listen to the language. I have to do it to get to my next level. I've plateaued, but this one will get me there. So now, as you're sitting at your desk and you're looking at it, you're going, oh God, I feel this anxiety coming up, this fear, this anxiety. Now it feels so terrible in your body that you're saying, you know what, let's not do this right now. Okay, you're finding that there's immediate relief, you're feeling better, but what you've really done is you have helped this here grow the problem, and you helped yourself, unfortunately, to lessen your confidence, your competence, your belief in yourself. So continued, you keep focusing on the problem and putting all your energy into the problem, and you're undermining your internal resources. That is a loop that is not sustainable. So here, let me help her to come in. All right. The cost of dysregulation is that you cannot access the calmer states and also your cognitive brain function, strategic thinking. But when you learn to calm the system out and use specific somatic techniques to shift your nervous system back to safety, that's when you get in the regulate phase, which creates the foundation of safety in your body. That is where we need to be. The fragmentation. So here's what happens on two different levels. A traumatic experience sends a shock wave through the nervous system, leading to overwhelm, which leads to fragmentation. One part of you holds on to the pain while the other dissociates to survive. It splits and fractures the flow of energy. It cannot complete the cycle. And that is the energy where the energy gets stuck. Furthermore, chronically speaking, you fragment within. Parts of you want to move. All right, I will help you to mute whoever you are. Let's see that we mute you. Okay, you must have muted yourself. Okay, thank you for that. All right. Where was I? The cost of, no, that's not where we were. Here we were. Okay, so parts of you, you fight, you feel that inner struggle. One part wants to move on, one part wants to stay behind. They are, when our internal part,
Dang, okay, Pam, you look kind of hot.
really, seriously, seriously, I hope that brings you joy. All right, trying this again. All right, let's move on. The fragmentation creates self-sabotage, paralysis, exhaustion, you've been there, confusion, as well as you shame yourself. You feel really bad about yourself, especially the parts within you are fighting one another. The truth about fragmentation is that it's a survival strategy. But when you're no longer in a survival mode, but you're sticking to that, it's keeping you stuck. So you need to bring your parts together as whole, while you also need to help your energy flow to start going through the obstruction, through the part where it fragmented. This is the reintegrate phase where you become whole again. Dormancy is, well, oh, who is feeling so strongly to be so funny and do this? Can we not stop this? All right, dormancy. Your life force is offline. Your creative energy, your passion, your drive, it goes into dormant. It's like dead, flatlining. You're flatlining because you've exhausted it on feeding into the problem and into your survival strategies. What you experience is that, whatever, no energy for the things you love. You're disconnected. Remember, that's the fragmentation. You're going through the motion and you're wondering if this is all there is. The revelation about dormancy is that it is a state of hibernation because your system knows that it needs to save its energy to help you get through this phase. So once you regulate your system, your nervous system, you can reactivate and come back into full power. What needs to change, it's not about willpower or motivation. They are helpful, and I'm not knocking them, but in this case, what you really need to do is you need to learn to work with the system, but you don't know how. You need to deal with your fears, anxieties, and worries. But first, you need to heal your past pain. You can't have open wounds, unhealed wounds, and move forward. How do you do that? How do you create new neural pathways? That's right. So I'm going to share 3 techniques with you tonight. Let's get going. The 1-point focus. So this is a very, very powerful technique that was developed by HeartMath. So what you do is, and I highly recommend that you practice this not only when you are in a state, I'm sorry, I don't know, but can we get this shit over with? Just leave, please. Okay, that was nice. All right, so what you do is you take a moment, you pause, okay? Take a moment and pause, collect yourself. Then what you need to do is focus on in the area between at your heart and above from your navel. So up from the navel and down from the heart. So the core of your body, and imagine it's a spot between your spine and your belly. Gently close your eyes and connect with your heart. Breathe in feelings of calm and ease through the nose into the heart, and exhale through the mouth and gently release the day's overwhelm. As you inhale, fill your body with light and focus on this one point as you inhale and exhale. and keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, longer through your mouth as you focus on this one point. And as you do, you start noticing that your system is calming down and going to a normal state, an acceptable state. Continue for 2 to 3 minutes or longer if needed. When you are done, check in with yourself if you're still in an alerted state. If so, continue to do it a little bit longer. This is the 3x3x3 nervous system reset system. And this is a grounding exercise that helps you to calm your anxiety by focusing on sensory input. This is also a technique that you can use to do self-hypnosis, but this is right here. We're using this to simply calm your body down by focusing on 3 things that you see, 3 things that you hear, and 3 things that you feel, and then move at the same time 3 parts of your body. This pulls you away from that overwhelming feeling and the thoughts and anchor you in the present moment. So take a couple of slow breaths in and out. You can do the same breathing as we've done for the other exercise. Then name 3 things either out loud or silently to yourself and say, I am aware now that I see, and name 3 things that you see. Then name 3 things, 3 sounds that you hear. Now that I am aware that I hear, name those 3 things. And then name 3 things that you feel and move a part of your body, be that shaking your head or your shoulders, letting it go, just shaking it off, or shaking your ankles. You can do this 3 times or more, but if you do it 3 times, then every time you do it, you go 3x3x3 things, then you go 2x2x2, and 1x1x1. And at the end, you have taken your control back over your nervous system. I very much like to end on focusing on what we'd rather have experienced or a positive outcome. It's what we call in NLP future pacing. Instead of focusing on the thing that troubles us or gives us anxiety, I'd like you to focus on something that you'd rather have. So now that you're calm, I invite you to close your eyes and remember a time when you were either really happy, successful, confident, or imagine a time in the future where you have what it is that you are seeking or that you wish to accomplish. As you close your eyes, imagine there's a screen in front of you, and imagine you see yourself on that screen. See yourself on that screen in this moment of the bliss in the past or the future success. Now make that image bigger, brighter, more beautiful, and make the sounds amazing and that feeling really absolutely super. Heighten that feeling. And when you feel it's at its height, you float into that image of yourself on that screen. And now see through your eyes, hear through your ears, and feel this amazing, wonderful feeling in your body. And then you double it, and you double the feeling and double the feeling, and really bring that feeling up. And when you're at the top of that feeling, take 2 fingers, middle and index finger, of your dominant hand and anchor it on the knuckle of your non-dominant. Put it on and take it off. Repeat this maybe 4 or 5 times. Every time, take it off. At the height of the good feeling, put it on, take it off. And then at the end, imagine you're locking that feeling into your body, into the knuckle, and then you step back out of that image. You take another breath in and out, and you feel this amazing, good feeling in your body. That creates new neural pathways, and it helps you to not feel anxiety, but absolute freedom for your future, to get into the flow. One of my clients was stuck in old trauma. She experienced significant childhood trauma. And when she was ready to sell her condo, she just couldn't do it. There was not enough motivation or positive thinking that could get her done. Over that stuckness could get her over it. So as we started to work on that, we realized that there was an association between moving and the trauma of the past. And so as she was now confronted with moving again, it brought up, unbeknownst to her, this old trauma that was still stuck in her body, in her cells, in her nerves, and in the neural pathways in her brain. We started working on it, and first to bring safety into her system, that feeling she is safe and protected, and through breath work, and we released that old trauma. We also healed those old wounds. What you need to hear is that it's not that you're stuck in your head because you're incapable of action. It's because your nervous system is doing exactly what it is designed to do, but it's not designed to overprotect you. It's designed to keep you safe, not small, but help you. Again, we're looking for balance. That was then that it kept you overprotected, but now that is not the time anymore. Unless, of course, you still have some roadblocks. And these are things that I hear from my clients all the time. I hear so often that this is just how I am. And when we talk about the nervous system, I hear very often that you can't change your nervous system. Yes, you can actually change your nervous system because it's called neuroplasticity. And that is from birth till death, you can influence your neuroplasticity. Actually, you've been doing that by focusing on the problem, on the fear, on the threat, on the anxiety. You've created those thoughts through your repeated patterns. You created permanent thoughts, but they're not permanent. Once you start working on calming the system down and helping you to reintegrate all your parts. What you need to hear is do those exercises to get you started. I've tried everything and I always go, really? Everything? I don't think so. And nothing has worked for me yet. So here's the thing. When we don't understand that the root of the problem is not what you think it is. It's not a lack of motivation or just because you are not as gifted as the next person. That is not true. It is simply because you're going too much into the overdrive. I was just speaking the other day to a lady, and we realized that when we think about, oh, I don't know what my future will bring, I don't know what it will do for me or not, then we're starting to feel anxiety. What are we doing really? We're feeding the anxiety because none of us really know what the future holds for us. But by projecting negatively into it, I'm making it worse. And that will not serve you. So instead of focusing on feeling anxious and feeling dysregulated, it helps you more to stay calm, collected, and allow new software to enter that will help you to move forward. Because we can either make a problem bigger and diminish who we are, our internal resources, or we build ourselves up and make the problem smaller. What you need to hear is get started. I don't have time to work on my nervous system. Well, guess we all have time, because either we're feeding the things that are not nourishing us, or we are feeding the things that do nourish us. Feeding the problem will not help you to move forward. It will keep you doing the same loops over and over again. And first of all, it makes you feel so bad. I remember a few months ago that I went through really significant stress, and I found myself spinning and spinning. And I knew what I was doing. I stopped it. But I should have stopped the mission at the time, and I didn't. And then it was stopped by the universe for me. I had a little accident, and I said, oh, I guess my universe told me, when you know you need to stop, stop, relax, calm down. So it takes only a couple of minutes to invest in yourself instead of diminishing yourself. I worked with a client who was totally stuck in her problem. She was overcome by feeling rather anxious about an investment that she had made of $18,000. She had taken it out of her life savings. And she did that because she wanted to grow and work and grow her business. That was the intention. But at the moment, that was not what it was not working out the way she had believed it was promised to her. And so it became a problem. We started talking about it. And the first thing that we needed to create was a sense of safety, that she was safe, that there was definitely a solution that was going to be found, because there always is. And so once she started to feel safe and protected again, the opportunities and the possibilities suddenly became very clear. She felt confident again, and she addressed the problem, and she got exactly what she wanted. Everybody knows that you go farther faster with a guide who has done this before. Now, you know that your system is unique, your issues are unique, your history is unique, your situation is unique. And you have started on a particular pathway. And the presentation tonight is for a general audience, but I've created a few things for you that I want to share with you that will help you to work on yourself. And this is what I have. I have a PDF that's a nervous system protocol. Then I have a recording that will help you. It's about 3 or 4 techniques that will help you to regulate your nervous system. I have a breath of life. And all of these things would usually sell for $547, because you also get a session with me if you complete the work. The nervous system protocol helps you to understand your nervous system. There's an assessment to identify your patterns. There are 5 core regulation techniques: a daily reset practice, emergency protocols, and an integration. So this is a very good beginning for you to start getting a better understanding and to resetting your system. This is a recording that I have made, and these are at least 3 incredibly powerful techniques that will help you to not only calm your system down, but to create new neural pathways by repeating them and keep doing them, so that it will help you to strengthen your core and to create new pathways and break old patterns. This is the one I've just completed, and these are 7 breathing techniques that follow the 7 stages of trauma based on a neurosomatic perspective foundation, where the belief is that trauma is trapped energy. Remember, I spoke about that fragmentation. It is so overwhelming that the energy splits. It's stuck. The energy is trapped. So by doing these 7 practices, They follow the 7 stages of trauma. You can start releasing it. This is about 30 minutes long. You can do 1 stage at a time or go through it in one shot. Why am I giving you these free bonuses? Well, because I want to give you really an incentive to start working on yourself and to take me up on my course. And I've made it a very easy decision because I want to help you by giving you these bonuses to loosen the grip that this state of anxiety, of survival mode, eternal survival mode, has taken on you, and to start saying yes to yourself and taking action. And today is a free workshop for a longer, bigger workshop. But that one is paid. It's a 5-day intensive course to help you to get from stuck to unstoppable and to turn your biggest obstacles in your greatest breakthroughs. And we're going to use these things that I have been addressing, but even more. The reason I built this course is because so many people think that when they push themselves through the problem, when they have enough mindset and mantras, yes, they all help. Don't misunderstand. I'm not knocking any of them. I use them myself. But when I'm in a hyper state, when I'm in overdrive, that's not helping me at all because my engine is running, it's going crazy, and it can't help me. Here's what you'll get. We will work in this course on your nervous system reset. I will guide you from survival to safety, to flow, and to freedom. We will anchor these states in you. We're clearing blocks that trap your energy from flowing. There will be breath work. And I will do a reframing technique that will bring your parts together and you become one again. And all of this is going, I'm asking $47 for a 5-day course. And it starts on December 1st through the 5th. I was going to start it next week. And when I realized and I put myself into hyper overdrive, and I said, I can't get my marketing done. So I postponed it until after Thanksgiving. So December 1st to the 5th at 2 o'clock for $47. Yep, it's really low. And you're getting for the $47 the nervous system protocol, you're getting the chaos karma, you're getting the breath of life meditation, all free today. A dinner for 2, I think you're spending probably more than $47. And here comes, of course, the analogy between nourishing you for one night versus helping you to create the system that helps you not only to nourish, but take you from the plateau to the next level and to the next level by addressing the issue at its root. You may wonder if this is a scam. My father used to tell me, if you want to cheat people, cheat them for a lot of money, but not for a few dollars. No, it's not a scam. Is there a solution to getting you out of stuckness? Yes, there is. There are solutions for that. Will this work for you? I really honestly don't know. And I'm being very honest about that and transparent because if you're not open and if you're not willing to do the work, then no, it's not going to work for you. Then this is not the right course for you. Can I bring the solution? I've brought this solution to many people. Yes. What if this doesn't work? I will refund you your money. When I see that you've done the work, I will absolutely give you your $47 back and you can keep all, of course, of the bonuses. $47. Okay, let me put the link into the chat right now. And here we go. Here is here is the chat. Here we go. There you go. There you have it. All right. It's crazy, I know. When you click on the link, you get on my page and you can do the payment for $47 only, and you will get all of your bonuses right now so you can get started. Belief, as I said, is the first step. Before you can check if your engine is on, I'm sorry, there's something in the chat. Okay, hi. All right, so finding relief is your first step. You need to calm the engine down. Then you can start working on yourself. So these bonuses are intended to give you that relief first, before you even start the course. Here's the truth. Instead of being overwhelmed, you will learn to help yourself to get calm and get clarity about your goals. You will take actions instead of just thinking and planning. You will achieve your goals faster than you thought it was possible to get them done. You'll break the habits and patterns that have been holding you back. You will no longer focus on the problem, but you will start focusing on the solutions. Where focus goes, energy flows. So that's what we're going to be doing. You build unshakable confidence in yourself and your ability to succeed. The easiest and fastest ways is to get on this course for only $47. You have a choice. You can either repeat or evolve. Repeating is being stuck in your past pain, in familiarity, which is not about being in your comfort zone. It's about what feels familiar. This pain I know, but the growing pain I don't. Either way, you're going to experience pain. We always do. Growth can be painful. Doesn't have to be traumatic, but there's always the stretch and the friction. That's why it's called growing. And you're getting out of if you're stuck and you repeat, that's when you worry about, what if this doesn't work? And you hope someone will come in and save you and will do it for you. Evolving means you're leaning into the future. You're being open, flexible. You are looking at possibilities and wonder, what if this works? I can make a difference. That's right. You haven't come this far to have just come this far and say, yeah, well, no, because you are here. You are here for a reason. And you are still on this call because you know something in you is awaiting you and waiting for you to release it. That's right. It's like you know that Fort Knox is in you and it's in your basement while you're on the top floor. You have the wrong code, the wrong keys. What if you can get the right keys and the right code and go to where your Fort Knox is and release it and get all of those resources working for you and towards your goals? You are here because you want more. Absolutely. You want more because we always want more. And I mean that in the best of ways, because it's not about only material wealth, but about growing to become more, to be more. You have so much potential that is stuck in you. You just haven't found the right tools yet. So this is my invitation for you to use the right tools and at the right levels and in the right areas so that you can tap into that potential of yours. I have another option for you if that works for you better, and that is to hop on a personal call with me, your personal breakthrough call, 40 minutes to be with me. That's right. I will work with you and we will talk about your problem the thing that got you on this call, and I will give you some strategies, some pointers, and help you to get through it. You will also get the 3 bonuses and get the call for free and the free bonuses. Now, here's the thing. This is, if you want to do this, do it right now and book your session right now with me. But here's the thing. This call is not for you if you're just booking the call and then you're saying, oh, I'm not going to get on it. Let's just stay there, stay where I am. I'm going to just no show and not show up. What you're doing with that is you're feeding the problem even more. So you better not take me up on this free personal breakthrough call, because it's going to make it worse by you saying yes and then not showing up. So only say yes if that's what you want. So to recap it, we started with the problem that you're not only stuck in your head. Yes, it's in your head, but it's also in your body. It's in every cell, it's in your memory, and it's in your nervous system. The problem is that it drains your energy. You lose momentum and you lose faith and confidence in yourself. If you don't solve this problem, you can never achieve what you're capable of. The one thing that you need to learn is that you can regulate your system so that you can start thinking clearly, reintegrate all the parts within you, and reactivate that which is dormant now. You have what it takes. All you need to do is rewire your nervous system. Those roadblocks, they were things you used to tell yourself at some point in the past, but that's not your truth anymore. Others who got on my call, they would tell you, or on my courses, that these were tipping points in their lives. People who got on my courses, they raved about them, and I helped them to break through in what other courses could not do for them. And that's not about bragging about myself. It's simply telling you that's what they experienced. People who get on my call, they experience a small breakthrough as well. And so that concludes this tonight. And here, let me put this in the chat. And unfortunately, there is nothing that I can do about this, and I don't know how to give this to you now. Let's do this way. I will copy it and put it in the chat here. I don't know why I can't access my chat. I have no idea. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to turn the recording off. Let's do that first. Okay, let's turn the recording off.